everyone. Welcome to another episode of JPNN. We're midweek here on Wednesday, the week after, not E3. We've got some stuff still, though, kind of a little bit of a recap within here, as well as some thoughts on the industry at large from a bunch of different CEOs. And I think some NPD earnings as well. I'm going to shut up. Let's go ahead and get to the news. Let's begin with Lars Wingforce. He's the CEO of the Embracer Group, and he put out a pretty lengthy statement discussing the recent 840 million euro investment in the company, or about 1 billion USD, by the Saudi Gaming Group. Savvy. I don't know why I said it Saudi because it's the subsidiary of Saudi Arabia's group, but it's the Savvy Gaming Group. They're a subsidiary of the Saudi Arabia's controversial public investment fund. He goes on and says, quote, "Since our announcement 2 days ago regarding the investment by the Savvy Gaming Group, SGG, I have received many questions about this. I understand and respect that there are different views on this topic. I don't claim to have the right answers, but I want to be clear that this decision was not taken lightly. I want to be clear that that Embracer will continue to be operated by me, our operative CEOs and management teams across the entire group." Fucking music's so fucking loud. What the fuck? The show's quickly becoming something we can't do live, and I can't do it as a solo person, and I hate it. Embracer is built on the principles of freedom, inclusion, humanity, and openness. I have been asked over the past few days why we are accepting investment from an entity in a non-democratic country. To start, we need to look ourselves in the mirror. We are a public company. We already have hundreds of institutions from all parts of the world as shareholders, including investors from the Middle East and Africa, as well as the Asia region. During the process, we have learned that SGG parent Saudi Arabia's public investment fund is one of the world's largest investors, including sizable ownership in many of our larger gaming peers. SGG is providing a sizable, truly long-term capital investment to support our strategy and our management so that we may continue the successful growth of our commercial businesses. My values as a Swedish entrepreneur are unwavering. We are a value-based company, and our commitment to a decentralized operating model that empowers great people to make their own decisions will always remain. Enjoy that billion. Kind of statement, a lot of a big nothing burger from that statement. Enjoy the $1 billion. It's fine. Today, Sensor Tower released a new report that expects by 2026, consumer spending for mobile games will reach $117 billion. The analytics firm says that the game revenue will account for 43% of earnings on Apple's App Store by then, as it generates $70 billion, whereas Google Play, the mobile game spending for that year, will make up only 65% of the revenue on the digital storefront at $47 billion. Additionally, the report said that when including non-gaming apps, the mobile market will hit $233 billion in 2026, which means an increase of 70% compared to the $137 billion consumer spending estimate for the year of 2022. A lot of billions, a lot of money being spent. We've also got some NPD numbers for May of 2022 for the US market, at least. Spending across the video game hardware, content, and accessories fell 19% when compared to a year ago, down to $3.7 billion. Spending has reached $21.9 billion, a 10% drop when compared to the same period in 2021. Subscription content is the only category showing year-on-year spending growth. The Nintendo Switch LED all hardware platforms in both, LED. The Nintendo Switch led all hardware platforms in both units and dollars in May 2022. Switch was also the market-leading platform in hardware units sold year to date, while the Xbox Series generated the highest dollar sales in the period. Elden Ring returned to the top of the best-selling titles chart After ranking second in April, Elden Ring was, of course, the best-selling game of May on both Xbox and Steam, while placing second on PlayStation. It remains the best-selling game of the year so far. Funny enough, Evil Dead the game, that was number 4 as the best-selling game of May, and was the only new release to appear among the top 50 best-selling games of the month. Rather interesting. In a lengthy interview with Game Informer, Kingdom Hearts director Tetsuya Nomura revealed more details on Kingdom Hearts 4 and the series' future with Final Fantasy. We recommend that you read the full review if you want to learn the full details and some interesting answers from Nomura. For now, we will highlight some of the more notable moments of the interview. Kingdom Hearts' story is focused on Sora's disappearance. Kingdom Hearts 4 will still include Disney World's Quadratum, which is the world that you saw in the first cinematic for the announcement trailer. That'll serve as the hub world in Kingdom Hearts 4. And when asked about the lack of Final Fantasy characters in the latest entries, Nomura answered, quote, "I understand there weren't many Final Fantasy characters in Kingdom Hearts 3. One thing I want to clear up is that a lot of fans are saying that Kingdom Hearts is this collaboration between Disney characters and Final Fantasy characters. When we released the first title, we had only a few original characters, Kingdom Hearts characters. So we had a lot of Final Fantasy characters involved. Even his fucking explanation is long-winded. So we had a lot of Final Fantasy characters involved to lend a hand for everyone to get to know these original Kingdom Hearts characters better. Now, there are so many original characters from Kingdom Hearts that are so well-loved, and people want to see more of those characters. With Kingdom Hearts 3, since we did have so many original Kingdom Hearts characters, it was hard to find room for including more Final Fantasy characters. When asked about the inclusion of Sora in Smash Ultimate, Nomura stated, quote, "I was very happy that we were able to have Sora make an appearance in Smash Bros. Ultimate. Most of the feedback was, I can't believe Disney okayed for him to be in this game." It's true. That's very true. Behind the scenes, I was actually the only one very picky about his appearance in Smash Bros. Disney was the one that was like, go ahead, this is a great opportunity. I thought it would be tough to pull off because it might clash with the established lore in Kingdom Hearts and the Disney world, so it was an opportunity I had to consider very carefully. I don't even like reading interviews with this man anymore. Like, he's Todd Howard revealed new details on Starfield in an interview with IGN. You can find that on their YouTube. Here's some of the highlights. Starfield has more handcrafted content than any Bethesda game. Starfield's main quest is about 20% bigger than previous Bethesda games, around 30 to 40 hours long. It has 4 main cities, and New Atlantis is the biggest city Bethesda's ever made. It does not let you fly seamlessly from space to planet. And he goes on and says, that's really just not that important to the player, I suppose. He also says that Starfield has over 200,000 lines of dialogue. And he also revealed, which was kind of the biggest thing to come out of this interview, that Fallout 5 is the next game after Elder Scrolls 6. Shocking, literally only Co. The Elder Scrolls 6 is currently in pre-production as well. That game is not very far along. Exoprimal is not connected to Dino Crisis, according to the director, Takura Hiroka, who stated in an interview with IGN alongside producer Ichiro Kiyokawa, "No, the game is its own unique thing and has no relationship to Dino Crisis." Well, why not? What are you doing? Exoprimal is not free to play. It's a fully priced release, which will be available both on disc and digital. But why not make it, maybe a little post credit, right? Post credit, maybe. Who knows? Lollipop Chainsaw is back, according to one of its former publishers. Yoshimi Yasuda was previously the CEO of Kadokawa Games, which publisher Grasshopper Manufacture titles Lollipop Chainsaw and Killer is Dead in Japan. He's also executive producer on both titles. Last month, it was announced that Yatsuda would be leaving Kadokawa and would be establishing a new company called Dragami Games. And it appears that the Lollipop Chainsaw will be one of the new company's first titles. It Goes on and gave a quote to say, Lollipop Chainsaw is back by Dogma Games. This was a tweet. Please look forward to it. No mention of Lollipop Chainsaw's apparent, that's just a weird name to say, apparent revival has been made by its director Suda51 or its co-writer James Gunn, though the two did celebrate the game's 10th anniversary on Twitter earlier this week. We'll see. Valheim is coming to PC Game Pass this fall and Xbox console Game Pass early 2023 with full cross-play support for anyone that does want to check that out on consoles or just ever because of Game Pass. Pretty nice. Overwatch 2 beta begins June 28th for PC and console. It will include the new character Junker Queen as well as a new map. We'll have more details on that coming up on June 16th. Stardew Valley is available for Nintendo Switch Online members to try from 6/14 at 10 a.m. to 6/20, June 20th, at what looks like midnight Pacific for free. We have to be a Nintendo Switch Online member, so is it really free? Not really. You got to pay for that stuff. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge has early review scores out, and it's doing quite well. Game Informer gave it an 8.75, Game Ran a 4 out of 5, IGN 8, GameSpot an 8, and Silicon Era an 8. In total, the Open Critic is currently at 87 with 15 critics, and Metacritic with 16 critics is currently sitting at an 84. Microsoft is working on games for Microsoft Teams. Casual games like Solitaire and Wordament are being tested internally inside Teams meetings. Why would you do that? But you don't, that's just going to give people a reason to not pay attention to meetings when they're not already paying attention to meetings. What are you doing, Microsoft? Stop it. Stop it. Sony has set an August 11th, 2023 release date for Gran Turismo, the video game adaptation from director Neil Blomkamp and Columbia Pictures. Jason Hall wrote the screenplay, and PlayStation Productions Assad Kieselbash? That's a Quizilbash. Kieselbash. And Carter Swan will serve as producers alongside Doug Belgrad and Dana Brunetti. The movie's story is, are you ready for this? Based on a true story, the film is the ultimate wish fulfillment tale of teenage Gran Turismo player whose gaming skills won a series of Nissan competitions to become an actual professional race car driver. Sure, why not? PlayStation accidentally priced Tekken 2 at $10,000 on its store. Game director and chief producer of the action fighting games, Katsushiro Harada, tweeted on the news saying, quote, "What a marvelous price, Sony." Fantastic. A couple of rumors here to round out the show. It appears a listing for Tactics Ogre Reborn appeared briefly on the PlayStation Store. There's been no price or date yet. It is also not clear whether this is a remaster or full remake. We're kind of wrapping things up here on Not E3, but there are two more things happening, and they're both happening at the same time. They could have some pretty cool stuff at it. It'll be Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern that the Final Fantasy VII anniversary stream, which is about 10 to 15 minutes, takes off. Maybe we'll see the first trailer for part 2 of that, or maybe we're going to see a big old nothing burger. We'll have to see. Also, at the same exact time, is going to be the Capcom's Dragon's Dogma 10th anniversary. And that's going to be the last bit of copium for anyone looking to see if there's anything on Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm thinking maybe a remake announcement, plus the announcement that the game's being made, but no trailer. I don't know. Maybe there's going to be nothing there. We'll figure it out. We'll watch it tomorrow, and we'll bring you the news on Friday's edition of JPNN. That's going to do it for the episode. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you guys then. Have a great rest of your week. Looking forward to that Dragon Dogma 2 announcement. Right? It's going to happen? Probably not.